Well, the exciting thing about thinking about the intelligent city of the future is that it is not only about the generation of energy. We can do this. We can provide renewable energy sources to power our cities. We can find alternative fuels to power our cars. And these are important issues that we still have to resolve in terms of car transportation or surface transportation. Of course, at the moment, we are burning fossil fuels at a very low rate of utilization of the primary energy that we actually extract from the oil. It's a wasteful way of doing this. But we have to think further. We cannot look at the city anymore as different infrastructures that are operated in isolation from each other. We have to begin to understand how we can create synergetic infrastructures that provide our power needs from renewable sources, where we deploy decentral power installations in our cities. We could have solar roofs on each house. We can work with urban wind turbines. We can work with geothermal in cities. So we have a number of tools we can use to generate electricity. But the city itself is also a perfect medium for energy storage. We can think of houses now as both consuming and producing energy. We can embed in our houses energy storage capacity. We can embed in our electric cars energy storage capacity. So when we use solar and wind energy, obviously this is generated when the wind blows or the sun shines. We may not always need that energy right there and then. If we have a large fleet of electric vehicles, we have a very large distributed battery in which we can deposit this energy for use at a later date. And I think this is a clear example of how we have to think about the city of the future, where different infrastructure levels positively reinforce each other and create a more circular way of moving materials and energy flows through the city. I think we need to obviously address the different infrastructure levels. We need to address the way we both generate power for the city and how we consume it in the city, which means we have to look at installing renewable energy systems both decentrally and locally in the city, but also linking the city to its hinterland. Cities often have areas around them that are suitable for large-scale generation of solar and wind. And at the same time, the city can provide a reservoir, a distributed storage capacity for storing these excess volatile energy sources such as wind and solar. The second key issue is how we address the issue of transportation. We've currently organized our cities around a technological platform that has really been built to burn oil. It is not really a platform that has been designed to build the best way of moving people around the city. So we have to think about different fuels, different alternative sources of energy for our transportation system. But we also need to start thinking about more intelligently organizing transportation. It doesn't make any sense for everyone to have a private car, which essentially takes up vast space in the city, is not being moved around 90% of the time. It's stationary. So why not move to a system where you can access mobility on demand, where you can choose to ride a bike, take a car, take a public transport, and then we can actually free our cities from a lot of this congestion, make them cleaner, make them less noisy, make them safer. So the transportation issue is another one. The third one is really also the issue of energy efficiency. We have built our cities in a very wasteful way in the way we consume energy, both our houses, again also in transportation. So finding ways to reduce the material and energetic throughput through the city is also a key aspect of this. And I think I would like to add a fourth, is that we somehow need to find a new balance between the built environment and the biosphere around us. We have in many ways pushed nature out of the cities and then often try to reinsert facsimiles of nature back into cities with these kind of manicured parks that are consuming huge amounts of energy and water. We need to find different ways to bring nature back in the city and make nature productive for the city as well, whether it's through urban farming or other forms of greening facades that can help with cleaning air, can help with extracting CO2 from the air. So I think if we bring those four elements together, we can achieve, or we can get to the intelligent city of the future. Well, we have a wonderful situation really in Berlin because we're making great headway towards reaching the 100% renewable energy target that we have set ourselves. Both the state of Berlin and the surrounding state of Brandenburg are already at 30% of renewable energy in its power mix. The state of Brandenburg itself has already a 60% portion of its power is generated from renewables. And the interesting challenge that we're now trying to solve in Berlin is the question of whether we can link the large-scale production of renewable energy regionally to the city to power our building systems, our transport systems, but also by developing the city of Berlin as a large distributed energy storage device by deploying local decentral smart grids where we link both generation and consumption of energy in buildings, where we can link in fleets and charging infrastructure for electric vehicles. And so we can create a kind of a integrated energy and mobility system and bringing these two infrastructure levels together and solving two problems. One, the decarbonization of transport, and on the other hand, moving towards 100% renewable energy production and consumption. This is really well underway. And one of the interesting challenges now is what type of portfolio of solutions can we combine in both the different sources of energy, not just wind and solar, but biogas, for instance. We're also looking at deep geothermal in the city of Berlin. If you can go down to about 4,000 meters, you reach its temperature in the earth of above 100 degrees Celsius. So you could actually generate electricity through pumping water down there and then driving steam turbines. And that would be a fantastic way to manage the base load of a city like Berlin, in addition to the volatile and renewable energy that we can generate from wind and solar. And so I think that the really fascinating question now is how we now combine this portfolio of renewable energy sources with a portfolio of energy storage devices. You can take, as I mentioned earlier, the energy, and you can split water with excess wind energy and create hydrogen, and you can run fuel cells with that hydrogen. You can heat water to generate heating and cooling opportunities. So really we're now at a stage where the question isn't whether or if we can achieve a 100% goal, but we are now well underway to try and understand how do we actually balance and design the system out of the different moving components that we need to bring together. And I think in addition with a mobility revolution that's going on in Berlin at the moment, we're seeing a rapid rise of car sharing, of electric car sharing, of bike sharing systems, of integrating these with public transport, which is really helping us achieve a modal shift to move people off private fossil cars, but offering them individual automobility that is clean and that is sustainable. And we're seeing a great acceptance there of these new services in Berlin. And I think it's a city that you should watch. I think we will become one of the leaders in building the intelligent city of the future.